those odds are way against you. I'm going to skip this one for time. One of the other things I heard a lot of, I still don't understand this one. You've probably heard this. Our attention span is now less than a goldfish, which I don't even know goldfish have attention spans. How would you even measure that? But it's not true. That's not. When you look at, I found this chart by three guys down at the bottom whose names I can't pronounce. Katarina, you may need to help me pronounce them. She could probably, yes, they're Polish names and I don't know who they are. But what they've shown through their studies of something called the Flynn effect, which is as people's IQ gets generally, the population gets smarter, they're more willing to pay attention to things. Now, what they're not willing to pay attention to is boring content. And so I think that's I was on a webinar yesterday, and one of the things they said was, and people's attention spans are getting shorter. We need to get their attention in 2 seconds. And so, do we really? I'm not sure we do. I think we need to get it and maintain it. But when you look at things like binge watching, I'll bet most of you have binge watched something in the last year. That requires attention. These are the numbers. 26% have binge watched at least once a week, and 43% of those more than 3 episodes. So it's not like people can't pay attention. But why do you pay attention to Stranger Things and White Lotus? Because it's great content and it keeps you on the edge of your seat. I'm not at all suggesting that advertising can do the same thing or marketing, because it's a different dynamic. But it does show you that people will pay attention to something they find interesting. I don't know, I watched that Guinness ad, I've watched it 100 times. I get chills at the same time every time. It's hard to turn away from a great story. And by the way, there are 11 words spoken in that ad. So you don't need a lot of the copy and let's overtell the story. Because the problem is that most ads don't engage viewers. So there was a work study done a couple years ago that showed almost all the ads, 85% of them, don't generate the attention that's necessary to drive business. System 1, again, they found only 6% of ads are truly effective. So when you look at it, you say, whatever we're doing today to create ads isn't really generating the impact that it could. And I started by saying, I think it's sort of on the market research side. I think we can have a better methodology of understanding how we can relate to customers, which will lead to better creative and better connections with customers.